continual medical recherche in the London hospital. We study and treat the widest ranges of diseases and disorders, and are certainly the greatest institution of our kind in the world. The Empire provides unparalleled opportunities for our studies. This place is cruel to life for the most revealing, scientific. Add to our reputation by going further, and that will satisfy. You bought a house on Liverpool Street. Good. Keep at it, trees. You have an FRS and 100 guinea fees by the time you're 40. You'll find it's a regular consolation prize. Consolation? I don't know what you mean. I know you don't. You will. A happy child can endorse it. A scientist in an age of science. In an English age, an Englishman. A doctor and a teacher at the London. 2 books published by my 31st year. A house. A wife who loves me. And my God, 100 guinea fees before I'm 40. Consolation for what? As of the year AD 1884, I, Freddie Treves, have excessive blessings. Oh, so it seems to me.
Situation is desperate, his physical agony is exceeded only by his mental anguish, a despised creature without consolation. Tuppence only, step in and see, to live with his physical hideousness, incapacitating deformities, and unremittent pain is trial enough, but to be exposed to the cruelly lacerating expressions of horror and disgust by all who behold him is even more difficult to bear. Tuppence only, step in and see, for in order to survive, Merrick forces himself to suffer these humiliations. I repeat, humiliations. In order to survive thus, he exposes himself to crowds who pray to gape and yawn at this freak of nature, the elephant man. See Mother Nature uncorseted and in malignant rage. Tuppence.
That's scientific, sir. Half elephant, half man is not possible. Is he foreign?
Right. From Leicester. Nothing to fear.
Yes, well, I went to London across the road. I would be curious to see him if there is some genuine disorder. If he is a mass of papier-mâché and paint, however.
Then pay me nothing. Enter, sir. Nick, send up your bloody donkey. Up, up.
Good Lord. I must examine him further at the hospital. Here's my card. I'm Treves. I will have a cab pick him up and return him. My car will gain him in minutes.
$5. He's yours for the day.
I wish to examine him in the interests of science, you see.
Sir, I'm Ross. I look out for him. Get him his living. Found him in Leicester workhouse. His own mom put him back age of 3. Couldn't bear the sight. Well, you can see why. Wait. He died in business. You won't find another like him.
Fair enough.
Right. Up here, man, you bloody donkey.
The most striking feature about him was his enormous head. Its circumference was about that of a man's waist. From the brow, there projected a huge, bony mass, like a loaf, while from the back of the head hung a bag of spongy, fungus-looking skin, the surface of which was comparable to that of round cauliflower. On the top of the skull were a few long, lank hairs, and the osseous growth on the forehead, at this stage about the size of a tangerine, almost occluded one eye. From the upper jaw there projected another mass of bone. It protruded from the mouth like a pink stump, turning the upper lip inside out and making the mouth a wide, slobbering aperture. The nose was merely a lump of flesh, only recognizable as a nose from its position. The deformities rendered the face utterly incapable of the expression of any emotion whatsoever. The back was horrible because from it hung, as far down as the middle of the thigh, huge sack-like masses of flesh covered by the same loathsome cauliflower stain. The right arm was enormous in size. It was also shapeless. It suggested, but was not, elephantiasis, and was overgrown also with pendant masses of the same cauliflower-like skin. The right hand was large and clumsy, a fin or a paddle rather than a hand. No distinction existed between the palm and the back. The thumb was like a radish, the fingers like thick tuberous roots. As a limb, it was useless. The other arm was remarkable by contrast. Not only was it perfectly normal, it was a delicately shaped limb, covered with a fine skin, and provided with a beautiful hand, which any woman might have. From the chest hung a bag of the same repulsive flesh. It was like a dewlap suspended from the neck of a lizard. The lower limbs had the character of a deformed arm. They were unwieldy, dropsical-looking, and grossly misshapen. And there arose from the fungus skin growths a very sickening stench, which was hard to tolerate. To add further burden to his trouble, the wretched man, when a boy, developed hip disease, which left him permanently lame, so that he could walk only with the aid of a stick. He was thus denied all means of escape from his tormentors.
Mr. Treves, you have shown a profound and unknown disorder to us. You have said when he leaves here, it is for his exhibition again. Now, I do not think it ought to be permitted. It is a disgrace. It is a pity and a disgrace. It is an indecency, in fact. It may be a danger in do not know. Something ought to be done about it.
I'm a doctor. What would you have me do?
Well, I know what to do. I know.
See the queens of the Congo. Step right on, right over here. They're coming. Right in here. Now!
We are the queens of the Congo, the beautiful Belgian Empire. On niggas on bigger, on miners on minor. Empire, vampire, Congo and power. Still is Lucy's finest star. Admire, aspire, desire, acquire. Oh, with the
off with you. Just pick up your stink if I stick around. Stink of failure, stink of lost years. Just stink, 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 stink.
Ah, is this the one?
Jesus! Just be in Liverpool Street Station safe, will you? Here's for your trouble.
What's he saying?
Just make sounds, fellas and him. Poor boy lost Johnny. His name is Johnny. He knows his own name. That's all, though.
Don't follow me, Johnny. Johnny, come on, folks. Conductor, find Johnny knows a place like this. Don't struggle.
Liverpool Street Station.
We're sleeping here. I barred the door. I'm trying to rip into pieces. I've never seen anything like it. Oh, like being Gordon, a bleeding cartoon. Hey, you've got some place to go in London, lads. You can't stay here. Oh, he's an imbecile. He don't understand. You're searching. Got any money? Wrong! What's he saying? He just makes sounds. Frightening sound is all he meant. Go to his coat. Don't let me go through your coat and I'll turn you over to that lock. Don't be upset. I was only joking. Joke? Joke? Yeah, sure. What's this card? What's this old card? You Charlie Merrick? What's he say? It says Mr. Frederick Cheese, lecturer in anatomy at the London Hospital. I'll go and see if I can find him. It's not far. What's he do then? Lecture you on your anatomy? Yeah, people think, right, don't look like that then, do they? Yeah, sure. Glum, 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 glum. Jesus. What's that? Yeah, sure. Trees.
What's going on here? Look at that mob. Have you no sense of decency? I'm Frederick Trees. This is my car.
This poor Reggie here, I didn't he arrived from Ostend.
Good Lord. Merrick! John, Merrick! What has happened to you?
Help me.
experience in missionary hospitals in the night.
And salons, yes.
Then I may assume you have seen...
The tropics, those diseases. The miserable and the awful scourges all census. Yes, sir.
I need the help of an experienced nurse, you see.
Yes, someone to
understand that. His appearance has terrified them.
The photographs show a terrible disease.
It is a disorder, not a disease. It is in no way contagious, although we don't in fact know what it is. I have found, however, a very deep superstition among those I've tried. They actually believe he somehow brought it on himself, this thing. And of course, that is not the case at all.
My dear, well, I am not one who believes it is ourselves who attain grace or bring chastisement to us, sir.
Miss Sandwich, I am hoping not.
Let me put your mind to rest. Care for lovers in the East, and you have care, Dr. Trees. In Africa, I have seen dreadful scourges quite unknown to our more civilized class. What at home could be worse than a miserable and afflicted rotting black?
I imagine.
Appearances do not daunt me.
It is really that has led me outside the confines of London seeking help.
I look under the hill. Whence cometh my help? I understand. I think I will be satisfactory.
His lunch.
Perhaps you would be so kind as to accompany me this time. I will introduce you.
Allow me to carry the train.
I will this time. You are ready.
I am.
He is bathing to be rid of his odor. John, this is Miss Sandwich. She has come to meet you.
Oh my God. You.
I'm sorry. I thought...
Thank you for saving the lunch this time.
Excuse me. You have let me down, you know. I did everything to warn you. I did say.
You said just what?
But the photograph!
Just. No one will do this. I'm sorry.
This is not helping him.
What fortitude he bears his cross. It is remarkable. He has made the acquaintance of religion and known sections of the Bible by heart. Once I grasped his speech, it became clear he'd certainly had religious instruction at one time.
I believe it was in the workhouse, Dr. Hoffman.
They are awfully good about that sometimes. The Psalms he loves. In the book of Job perplexes him, he says, for he cannot see that a just God must cause suffering, as he puts it, merely then to be merciful. Yet that Christ will save him, he does not doubt, and so he is not resentful. Christ had better. Be damned if we can. In any case, Dr. Treves, he has a religious nature. Further instruction would uplift him, and I'd be pleased to provide it. I plan to speak of him from the pulpit this week. I see our visiting bather has flushed the busy Bishop Howe from his cruciform lair. Speak with merit, sir. I have spoken to him of mercy and justice. There's a true Christian in the rock. This makes my news seem banal. Yes, Freddie. The response to my letter to the Times about Merrick has been staggering. The English public has been so generous that Merrick may be maintained for life without a penny spent on hospital funds.
But that is excellent.
God bless the English public. Especially for not dismembering him at Liverpool Street Station. Freddie, the London is no home for incurables. This is quite irregular. Ah, to you are committed. Oh, God knows what you'll do. God does know, sir. And Darwin does not. He's better, sir. He deformed him. I've had apprehensions coming here. I find it most fortunate
tenderest rule of law to India or Ireland? When good British churchmen leave Hoffman home for missionary hardship in Africa, is it science that bears them away? Sir, it is not. It is Christian duty. It is the obligation to bring our light and benefices to benighted man. That motivates us, even as it motivates Treves towards Merrick here, sir, to bring salvation where none is. Grovemont was a Christian, sir, and died at Khartoum for it, not for science.
You're telling me not for science.
Mr. Treves, I'll visit Merrick weekly if I may.
You will be welcome, sir, I'm certain.
Then, good day, sir.
Well, Jesus, my boy, now we have the money. What do you plan to America?
Well, normality as far as is possible.
So you do like us?
Is something wrong, Mr. Garland? With us?
Been reading this about poems for the blind. Wouldn't mind going to one when I have to.
But you do not have to move, and you're not blind.
I would prefer it where no one stares at me.
No one will bother you here.
Certainly not. I give instructions.
Look, what do I do?
God Almighty! Oh, Mr. Garland, Mr. Treves.
You were told not to do this. I don't understand. You must not lurk about. Surely you have work.
Yes, sir.
Well, it is infuriating. When you are told a thing, you must listen. I will not have you gaping in on my patience. Kindly remember that.
Isn't a patient, sir, is he?
Do not let me find you here again.
You didn't know you were here, sir. Will you be off now? No, Will. Mr. Treves was precisely saying that no one would intrude. When you intrude,
They're warned now. Merrick does not like it.
they were warned before. On what penalty, Will? That you sack me, sir.
You're sacked, Will.
You, his friend. You work here?
Started last week, sir.
Well, I hope the point is taken now. Mr. Grovemont, I ain't truly sacked, am I?
Will, yes, truly sacked.
You will never be more truly sacked. But it's not me. My wife ain't well. My sister's got to care for our kids and for her. Well, think of them first next time. Well, it ain't as if I interfered with his medicine. That is exactly what it is. You may go. He's just keeping him to look at. His private is all. Isn't it? There are priorities, Fred. And the first of them is discipline. Smooth is the passage to the tight ship's master. Merrick, you're safe from prying now.
Have we nothing to say, John?
If all that stared at me been sacked, there'd be whole towns out of work.
I meant, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We always do say please and thank you, don't we?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
If we want to properly be like that.
Oh, yes, sir, I want to.
Then it is for our own good, is it not?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Grovemont.
Sir, you're welcome.
You are happy here, are you not, John?
Yes, sir. circular leave.
And 3 meals a day delivered to your room.
Yes, sir.
This is your promised land, is it not, John? A roof, food, protection, care, is it not?
Right, Mr. Trees.
I will bet you don't know what to call this.
No, I don't know.
You call it home.
Never had a home before.
Well, you have one now. Say it, John. Home.
Home.
No, really say it. I have a home. This is my goal.
I have a home. This is my home. This is my home. I have a home. As long as I like.
That is what home is.
That is what is home.
If I abide by the rules, I will be happy.
Right, Mr. Trees.
Don't be shy.
If I abide by the rules, I will be happy.
Very good. Why?
Why, what?
Will you be happy?
Because it is my home?
No. Why do rules make you happy?
I don't know.
Of course you do.
No, really, I don't.
Well, why does anything make you happy?
Like what? Like what?
Don't get serious. Rules make us happy because they are for our own good.
All right.
Don't be shy, John. You can say it.
This is my home.
No. What rules making us happy?
They make us happy because they are for our own good.
Excellent. Now, I am submitting a follow-up paper on you to the London Pathological Society. It would help if you told me what you recall about your first years, John, to fill in gaps.
Fill in gaps?
Yes.
The workhouse where they put me. They beat you there like a drum. Boom, boom. Scrape the floor. Boom, boom. Shine the pan. It never ends. The floor is always dirty. The pan is always tarnished. There's nothing you can do about it. You are always attacked anyway. Boom, boom, boom. Will the children go to the workhouse?
What children?
The children. The man, he sucks.
Oh, of necessity, we'll find other employment.
Oh.
You don't want crowds staring at you, do you?
No.
In your own home, you do not have to have crowds staring at you, or anyone, do you, in your home?
No.
Then Mr. Gum was merciful. You yourself approved, is it not so? Well, is it not so?
Your mercy is so cruel. What do you have for justice?
I'm sorry. It's just the way things are. are acquainted with his appearance.
He reminds me of an audience I played Cleopatra for in Brighton once. All huge, hairy and brilliant, and utterly undignified.
Well, my aim is to lead him to as normal a life as possible. His terror of us all comes from having been held at arm's length from society. I am determined that shall end. For example, he loves to meet people and converse. I am determined he shall. For example, he had never seen the inside of any normal home before. Well, I had him to market. What a reward, Mrs. Kent. His astonishment, his joy at the most ordinary things. Most critical, I feel, however, are women. I should explain. They have always shown the greatest fear and loathing of him, while he adores them, of course.
Ah, he is intelligent.
Well, I am convinced they are the key to retrieving him from his exclusion. Of course, I must warn you that women are not quite real to him, more creatures of his imagination.
Then he is already like other men, Mr. Tree.
So, I thought an actress could help. I mean, unlike most women, you won't give in. You are trained to hide your true feelings and assume others.
You mean unlike most women I am famous for? That's all.
Well, in any case, if you could enter his room, smile and wish him good morning, and when you leave, shake his hand. The left one is usual and really quite beautiful, and say, I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick.
Shall we try it? Left hand out, please. I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick. I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick. I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick. I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick. Yes, that one.
Oh, my God, they're all splendid. Oh, Merrick will be so pleased. It is the day he becomes a man, like other men.
Speaking of that, Mr. Tree.
Oh, Frederick, please.
Freddie. May I commit an indiscretion?
Yes.
I could not help but noticing from the photographs that, well, of the unfitted part. How shall I put it?
Oh, I see. I quite understand. No. It is quite normal.
I thought as much.
Medically speaking, you see, the papillomatous extrusions which disfigure him seem to correspond quite regularly with the osseous deformity. Excuse me. There is a link between the bone disorder and the skin growth, though for the life of me I cannot determine what it is or why it is. But in any case, this part would therefore be unlikely to be afflicted because, well, that is, well, there's no bone in it. None at all, I mean.
Well, they're a little every day, don't we?
I am horribly embarrassed.
Are you? Then he must be lonely indeed.
Making sketches for the model of St. Philip's Church. He wants someday to make a model, you see. John, my boy, this is Mrs. Kendall. She would like very much to make your acquaintance.
Good morning, Mr. Merrick.
I will see to a few matters. I will be back soon.
I've planned so many things. things to say. I forgot them. You are so beautiful.
Oh, how charming, Mr. Merrick.
Well, really, that was what I planned to say. That I forgot what I planned to say. I couldn't think of anything else. I was so excited.
Real charm is always planned, don't you think?
Well, oh. I don't know why I look like this, Mrs. Kendall. My mother was so beautiful. She was knocked down by an elephant at the circus while she was pregnant. Something must have happened, don't you think?
It may well have.
It may well have. But sometimes I think my head is so big because it is so full of dreams. Do you know what happens when dreams cannot get out?
Why, no.
Neither do I. Something must. Well, you are a famous actress.
I'm not unknown.
Oh, you must display yourself for your living day like I did.
That is not myself, Mr. Bennet. That is an illusion. This is myself.
This is myself.
Frederick says you like to read. So, books.
I am reading Romeo and Juliet now.
Ah, Juliet, what a love story. I adore love stories.
I like love stories best too. If I had been Romeo, guess what?
What?
I would not have had a mirror to her breath.
Ah, you mean the scene where Juliet appears to be dead, and he holds a minute to her breath and sees...
Nothing. How does it feel when he kills himself? Because he just sees nothing.
Well, my experience as Juliet has been, particularly with an actor I will not name, that while I am lying there dead, and he is lamenting excessively, I get to thinking that if the slab of ham does not part with the sap off of it like tooth sweet, I'm going to scream, pop off the tomb, and plunge a dagger into his scene, stealing fast. Romeos are very unfair.
Because he does not care for Juliet.
Not care.
Does he take her pulse? Does he get a doctor? Does he make sure? No, he kills himself. The illusion fools him because he does not care for Juliet. He only cares about himself.
This is extraordinary.
Before I spoke with people, I did not think all of these things because I had no one to bother to think them for. Now things just come out of my mouth, which are true.
You are famous, John. Where are the papers? Look, they've written before to the Pathological Society. Look, it is a kind of apotheosis for you.
Oh, Frederick, I feel Mr. Medic would benefit by even more company than you provide. In fact, by being acquainted with the best, and they with him. I shall make it my task at Waternet. As you know, I'm a friend of nearly everyone, and I do pretty well as I please. And what pleases me is this task, I think.
My God, Mrs. Kendall, you are splendid.
Mr. Medic, I must go now. I should like to return if I may, and so that we may without delay teach you about society. I should like to bring my good friend Dorothy, Lady Neville. She would be most pleased if she could meet you. Let me tell her. Then until next time, I'm sure your church model will surprise us all. Mr. Medic, it has been a very great pleasure to make your acquaintance.
John, your hand. She wishes to shake your hand.
Thank you for coming.
But it was my pleasure. Thank you.
What a wonderful success. You know, he's never shaken a woman's hand before.
Your Grace!
Oh, so nice to see you, Mr. Medic. I have come to say Happy Christmas, and that I hope you will enjoy this wreath, and remember your friend by it.
Oh, Your Grace, thank you.
I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance.
Please accept these silverback brushes and combs for Christmas, Mr. Medic.
Many thanks, Countess.
I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance.
Ah, Merrick. Here's the gold top walking stick I was telling you about. It'll make you a regular Piccadilly exquisite. Oh, splendid. Keep up the good work. Self-help is the best help. Example to us all.
Many thanks, Lord John.
My pleasure. Very pleased to have made your acquaintance.
It is remarkable, I know.
And I do it with just one hand. They all say.
You are an artist, John May. An artist.
I did not begin to build at first. Not till I saw what St. Philip's really was. It is not steel or stone or glass, but an imitation of grace rising up and up from the mud. So I make my imitation of an imitation. But even in that is heaven to me, Mrs. Kendall.
That thought's got a good line, John. Plato believed this was all a world of illusion, and that artists made illusions of heaven.
You mean we are all just copies of originals?
That's it.
Who made the copies?
God, the demiurge.
He should have used both hands, shouldn't he?
Why all the toys, I tell me? He is much too deformed to use any of them.
Props, of course, to make himself as I make me.
You too? You think of yourself?
Well, he is gentle, almost feminine, cheerful, honest within limits, a serious artist in his way, and almost like me.
He is religious and devout. He knows salvation must radiate to us or all is lost. It is certainly not. He seems practical, like me. He's seen enough of daily evil to be thankful for small goods that come his way. He knows which side his bread is buttered on. Counts his blessings for him, like me.
I can speak with him of anything, for I know he is discreet, like me.
How odd. I think him curious, compassionate, concerned with the world. Rather like myself. Freddie Treves, 1889 AD.
Of course, he is rather odd, and hurt, and helpless not to show the struggle. And so am I.
He knows I use him to raise money for the London, I am certain. He understands I would be derelict if I didn't. He's wary of any promise. And he fits in well, like me. I, as a seminarist, have many of the same doubts. Struggled as he does, and hope they may be overcome.
When my husband, His Royal Highness, Edward, Prince of Wales, asked Dr. Treves to be his personal surgeon, he said, "Dear Freddie, if you can't put up with this elephant bloke, you can surely put up with me."
See him out of fashion, Freddie, as he sees me. Social contact's critical. Oh, by the way, ignore the bloody papers. They're all lies.
Make visibly worse than 86, 87. That as he rises higher in the consolations of society, he gets visibly more grotesque, is definitive proof that his condition, which I make no sense of. I make no sense of mine.
They're saying you lost the money.
Freddie, if I were such a scoundrel, how would I dare face investors like yourself? Broken contracts. I never consider them actual contracts. Just preliminary things. Get the old deal underway. An actual contract is something between gentlemen. And this attack on me shows they are no gentlemen. Gentlemen? Now, I'm only here to say that the company remains a terribly attractive proposition, don't you think? What? To recapitalize, if you could spare an... Ah, Mr. Gunn. So good to see you. It's just remarking how splendidly Merrick thrives here, thanks to you. And Freddie.
Lord John, allow me. I must take Frederick from you. Even at work. It's in his contract. Wouldn't want him breaking it. The sort of thing makes the world fly apart, isn't it?
Yes, well, of course.
Sorry to hear you're so depressed. Expect we'll be seeing less of you around the London now.
Of course, I overdo, appointment in the city. Freddie, Mr. Gunn.
Claim fooled me. It was kind to Mary.
You have risen fast and easily, my boy. You forgot how to protect yourself. Break now.
It does not seem right somehow.
A man's a moral swamp. That's not clear yet. Is he attractive? Deceit often is. Friendly? Swindlers can be. Another loan? Not another penny. It may be your money, Freddie, but I will not tolerate laboring like a navvy that the London should represent honest, charitable, and compassionate science and have title swindlers mucking up the pitch. He has succeeded in destroying himself so rapidly you ought not doubt an instant it was his real aim all along. He broke the contracts, gambled the money away, lied like an infant in his mess, gurgles and wants to do it again.
But I feel
Never mind details. Don't want to know. Break and be glad. Don't hesitate. Today, one man moral swamp. Don't be sucked in.
Have you seen the papers?
Yes.
Yes, a great pity. Freddie, today.
President.
He has
keep his word with me, his contract, Mrs. Kendall.
What contract did you say?
And will you?
What? Will I?
The prince has a mistress. That Irishman had won. Everyone seems to, for a wife. Some have both. I have concluded I need a mistress. It is bad enough that you speak like others.
Oh, sitting up you mean. Couldn't you be very restful?
I have too heavy to lay down. a surprise.
I saw photographs of you before I met you. You didn't know that, did you?
The ones from the first time in '84. No, I didn't.
I felt it was unjust. I don't know why. I cannot say my sense of justice is my most highly developed characteristic. You may turn around again. Well, a little fun, isn't it?
It is the most beautiful sight I have seen ever.
If you tell anyone, I shall not see you again. We shall not read, we shall not talk. We shall do nothing. Wait. There. No illusion. Well, what is there to say? I am extremely pleased to have made your acquaintance.
For God's sakes! What is going on here? What is going on here?
Paradise, friend.
What, have you no sense of decency? Are you not ashamed? Do you know what you are? Don't you know what is forbidden? Johnny. Come actually to ask your forgiveness.
I found a good home, Ross. I forgave you.
I was hoping we could work out a deal. Something new, maybe.
No,
See, I was counting on it. That you were kind-hearted, like myself. Some things don't change. You're going to put your money on the things that don't affect you. I figure from what I read about you, you don't change. Dukes, ladies coming to see you. Ask myself why. Figure it's the same as always was. Makes them feel good about themselves by comparison. Them things don't change. There, but for the grace of. So I figure you're still in the same service as always. A better clientele. Difference now is you ain't charging for it.
you make me sound like a whore.
You are. I am. They are, most are. No disgrace, John. Disgrace is to be a stupid or give it for free. Not capitalize on the interest in you. Not to have a manager then is stupid.
You see that church? I am building it. The people who visit are friends, not clients. I am not a dog walking on its hind legs.
I was thinking, charge these people. 10%.
That what made you daft?
I helped you, John. Discovered you. Was that daft? No. Only daftness was being at a gold mine without a shovel. Without proper connections, like trees have. What's daft? Raw sows, trees harvests. Isn't fair, is it, John? When you think about it. I think about it because I'm old. Something in my throat. You may have noticed. Something in my long hair, too. Something in my belly, too, I guess. I'm not a heap of health, am I? But I do well with 10%. I don't need more than 10%. 10% and give me a future slightly better than a cobblestone. This lot would pay if it showed in the right spirit. I don't ask much.
They are the cream Ross. They know it. Man, you come to a long place to make them pay them. Then what a way!
I'm talking about doing it in the right spirit.
They are my friends. I'd lose everything for you. Ross, you lived your life. You robbed me. 48 pounds, 9 shillings, tuppence. You kept me like an animal in darkness. Now you come back, want to rob me again. Be satisfied, Ross. Now, I am a man like others. You want me to return.
I don't want yet.
Is that what makes a man?
In my time, it'd do for a start.
Not what makes this one. Yet, I am like others.
I'm condemned. I got no energy to try nothing new. I may as well go to the docile straight. Die there anyway. Between filthy docile rag. Nothing in the belly but acid. I don't like pain, John. The future gives pain sense. Without the future. John!
I'm sorry, Ross. It's just the way things are.
By God, I am lost.
Even the crooked shall be made straight.
So did the rat, my boy. So do we all.
You don't believe?
I will settle for a reliable general anesthetic at this point. Actually, though, I had a patient once, woman, operated on her for woman's sake. Used ether to anesthetize. Tricky stuff, she didn't come out of it. Pulse stopped, no vital signs, absolutely moribund. Just a big, white, dead mackerel. 5 minutes later, she fretted back to existence like a lost explorer with a great scoop of the undiscovered.
She saw heaven?
No, I quote her. It was neither heavenly nor hellish. Rather like perambulating in a London fog. People drifted by, but no one spoke. London, mind you. Hell's probably the provinces. She was shocked it wasn't more exotic. But allowed us how had she stayed and got used to the familiar, so to speak, it did have hints of becoming a kind of bliss. She fled.
If you do not believe, why did you send Mrs. Kendall away?
Don't forget, it saved you once, my interference. You know well enough it was not proper.
But how can you tell if you do not believe?
There are still standards we abide by.
They make us happy because they are for our own good.
Well, not always. Oh? Look, if you are angry, just say so.
Whose standards are they?
I am not in the mood for this chipping away at the edges,
That
John.
do not always make us happy because they are not always for our own good.
Everyone's. Well, mine, everyone's.
That woman's, that Juliet's,
Juliet?
who died and came back.
No, I see. Yes, her standards too.
So,
So, what?
did you see her naked?
When I was operating, of course.
Oh.
Oh, what?
Is it all right to see them naked if you cut them up afterwards?
Good Lord, I'm a surgeon. That is science.
But she died. Mrs. Kendall didn't.
But she came back too.
Mrs. Kendall didn't, if you mean that.
Look, I'm trying to read about anesthetics. There is simply no comparison.
Oh,
Science is a different thing. This woman came to me to be, well, it was not, love, you know?
is that why you're looking for an anesthetic?
It would be a boon to surgery.
Because you do not love them.
Love's got nothing to do with surgery.
Oh,
What? What does it matter? Don't you see? If I love, or any surgeon loves her, or not, or any patient, or not, what does it matter? And what conceivable difference to you?
because it is your standards we abide by.
For God's sakes, if you are angry, just say it. I won't put you out. Say it. I am angry. Go on. I am angry. I am angry. I am angry.
I believe in heaven.
And it is not all right if they are dressed, if you cut them up, as you put it. Make me sound like Jack the Ripper.
No, you are looking for an anesthetic.
Are you having me on?
You are merciful. I myself am proof. Is it not so? Well, is it not so?
Well, about Mrs. Kendall, perhaps I was wrong. These days, that is, I seem to lose my head. Taking too much on, perhaps. I do not know what is in me these days.
Will she come back, Mrs. Kendall?
I will talk to her again.
Yes, but will she?
No, I don't think so. Oh, there are other things involved. That is, other things.
Other things? to walk now? Think. Other things. Why? Why won't she?
Because I don't want to hear when you die.
To add a further burden to his troubles the wretched man when a boy, developed a disabling spiritual duality, therefore was unable to feel what others feel, nor reach harmony with them. Please. He would thus be denied all means of escape from those he had tormented.
You have shown a profound and enormous order to us. You have said that when he leaves her, it is to return to his prior life again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do not think it ought to be permitted. It is a pity and a disgrace. It is an indecency, in fact. It may be a way of danger and ways we do not know. Something ought to be done about it.
Well, we hope in 20 years we will know enough to put an end to this affliction.
20 years, sir. That is unacceptable.
Had we caught it earlier, it might have been different, but his condition has spread both east and west. The truth is, I'm afraid we are dealing with an epidemic.
beavering away from Christ.
Yes.
I got your report. He doesn't know it.
The bishop.
Mary.
No.
I'll be sorry when he dies.
It will not be unexpected anyway.
He's won the hospital quite a lot of good repute. Quite a lot of contributions to, for that matter. In fact, I like him. Never regretted letting him stay on, though I didn't imagine he'd last this long.
His heart won't sustain him much longer. May even give out 20 years off his bloody knees with that bloody man.
What is it, Freddie? What has gone sour for you?
It is just. It is the over-arc of things. Quite inescapable that as he's achieved greater and greater normality, his conditions edged him closer to the grave. So, the parable of growing up. To become more normal is to die, more accepted to worsen. It is just a mockery of everything we live by.
Sorry, Freddie. I didn't catch that one.
Nothing has gone wrong, I know.
Cheer up, man. You're knighted. Your clients will be kings. Nothing succeeds, my boy, like success. hardly moving, Mr. Treves. He struggles so. I suggested he might like to be confirmed. He leapt at it like a man lost in a desert to an oasis.
He is very excited to do what others do if he thinks it is what others do.
You cast doubt, sir, on his faith.
No, sir, I do not. Yet he makes us feel he is very deeply like ourselves, and yet we are not like each other. I conclude that we have polished him like a mirror and shout hallelujah when he reflects us to the inch. And I have grown sorry for it.
Now, that's what you're saying. Is something troubling you, Mr. Treves?
Corsets? How about corsets? There is a pamphlet I've written due mostly to the grotesque ailments I've seen caused by corsets. Well, fashion overrules me, of course. My patients do not unstrap themselves of corsets. Some cannot. Do you know, I had so little time in the week. I spent Sundays in the pool wards to keep up with work. Work being 20-year-old women who look and abuse 50 with worn-outedness. Young men with appalling industrial conditions who I turn out as soon as possible to return to their labors. Happily, most of my patients are not poor. Some middle class. They overeat and drink so grossly, they destroy nature and themselves so fervently, they will not last. I know, sir, above this middle class, I confront these same deformities, bulged out by unlimited resource and the ruthlessness of privilege, into the most scandalous dissipation, yoked to the grossest ignorance and constraint. Oh, I counsel against it where I can. I make no more course. Then what, sir, could be troubling me? I am a very extremely successful Englishman in a successful and respected England, which informs me daily by the way it lives that it wants to die. I am in despair, in fact. Science, observation, practice, deduction, having led me to these conclusions, can no longer serve as consolation. I apparently see things others don't.
I wish I understood you better, sir, but as for consolation, there is in Christ's church consolation.
I am sure we were not born for mere consolation.
But look at Mr. Merrick's happy example.
Oh, well, yes, you'd like my garden, too. My dog, my wife, my daughter, pruned, cropped, pollarded, and somewhat stupefied. Very happy examples, all of them. Well, is it all we finally ought to do with whatever nature? Is it right? No. No, not really. No, not nature, I mean. Ourselves, really. Myself, really. Wrong, that is. You do see, of course. We can't figure out, really, what else we can do with them, can we?
It's not exactly clear, sir.
I am a very good gardener. Is that clear? By God, I take such good care of anything. We are convinced. Are you not convinced? Him, I mean, is not very dangerously human. I mean, how could he be after what we have given him? Well, what you might say is that he is so grateful for patrons, so greedy to be patronized, no demands, no rights, no hopes. Past perverted, present false, future nil. What better could you ask? He puts up with all of it. Of course, I do mean taken when I say given. As in what we have given him. But you knew that. I bet because
You mean charity. Can't tell what you are saying.
Help
He made his sister died yesterday. 28 she was. Imagine that. Wife was sick, his sister nursed him. The real bloom, that girl. Now wife all right, and his sister just ups and dies. It's also... What's that word? Well, I forgot it. It means Chauncey, or... Well, I forgot it. Have a good lunch.
me drawing attention to the case of Joseph Merrick.
John Merrick.
Well, known as the Elephant Man. It was one of singular and exceptional misfortune, etc., etc. He barred from earning his livelihood in any other way than being exhibited to the gaze of the curious. This having been rightly interfered with by the police, etc., etc., with great difficulty he succeeded somehow or other in getting to the door of the London hospital, where, through the kindness of one of our surgeons, he was sheltered for a while. And then, while deterred by common humanity from evicting him again into the open street, I wrote to you, and from that moment all difficulty vanished. Although no other fitting refuge was offered, a sufficient sum of money was placed at my disposal, apart from the funds of the hospital, to maintain him for what did not promise to be a prolonged life.
I forgot. The coroner said it was death by asphyxiation. The weight of the head crushed the lid.
Well, I go on to say about how he spent his time here, that all attempted to alleviate his misery, that he was visited by the highest in the land, etc., etc., that in general he joined his life to ours as best he could, and that in spite of all this indulgence, he was quiet and unassuming, grateful for all that was done for him, and conformed readily to the restrictions which were necessary. Will that do so far, you think?
I should think it would.
Wouldn't add anything else, would it?
Well, he was highly intelligent. He had an acute sensibility. And worst for him, a romantic imagination. No, never mind. I am really not certain of any of it.
I have given these details thinking that those who sent money for his support would like to know how their charity was used. Last Friday afternoon, though apparently in his usual health, he quietly passed away in his sleep. I have left in my hands a small balance of the money for his support, and this I now propose, after paying certain gratuities, to hand over to the general funds of the hospital. This course, I believe, will be consonant with the wishes of the contributors. It was the courtesy of the Times, in inserting my letter in 1886, that procured for this afflicted man a comfortable protection in the last years of a previously wretched existence, and I desire to take this opportunity of thankfully acknowledging it. I am, sir, your obedient servant, F.C. Grovemont, House Committee Room, London Hospital, 15th of April, 1890.
I did think of one small thing.
It's too late, I'm